Don't you want to drop in there and just go bonkers for a McFlurry or at McDonald's at a Blizzard and just grab 3,000 or 4,000 calories, bro? You can't be this. You can't be this nice and this honest. You've got to have issues with food and maybe grabbing a hard seltzer every now and then, bud. Cooper Webb joins us here in the Freak Nation Lucas Oil Studios. Do people call you Coop? I mean, did mom and dad call you Coop and your friends call you Coop growing up?
My friends did. Never my mom and dad, but definitely my friends. Was a nickname then, and yeah, even now I get a lot of people that call me that, which I'm good with. It rolls off the tongue easy.
But when mom and dad were getting after your ass, did they get the full Cooper middle name and Webb after you?
Oh yeah, it was Cooper Webb. Get your butt in here right now.
What? No middle name?
It's kind of a funny story. My first name's actually Paul, but I've gone by Cooper since I was 6 months old. My parents told me they felt like Paul just didn't work very well, so I've always gone by Cooper, which is my middle name.
Yeah, you don't look like a Paul to me. You are a Cooper.
Yeah, that's what they would tell me, so that's why they started calling me that.
Did mom ever call you Paul Cooper Webb? Get in here, and you knew she meant
yeah. She said the full name, or even Paul. You knew you're in trouble.
Cooper Webb joining us here in the Freak Nation, and again, off season for Supercross, outdoors going off, but you making some noise now in the summertime with being nominated for an ESPY. Did you have any idea that this was even a possibility for you?
No, I didn't. I had no idea at all. I came across the X Games posted it, and I got alerted through them. And man, it was surreal. Last Friday, I kind of saw it and really understood it once I saw it. You know, I've watched the ESPYs on TV, but I didn't really even know that there was a category for best action sports. So yeah, man, it was pretty crazy seeing that. My name in the hat, and for Supercross and motocross, just getting some recognition myself as well, being in the same category as some of the great people that have been nominated and have won this award. So I was super pumped. Even now, obviously, it would be sweet to try to win the thing, but being down to the final four as a finalist is super cool, and I'm pumped for it.
Let me preface this question by saying beggars can't be choosers. I get that. I see best action sports athlete, and sometimes I cringe a little bit because it's like, well, duh, we know you've got that. What about best male athlete, period? You guys are some of the fittest athletes out there, but everybody wants to look at the stick and ball guys in that category. Do you think the same way that I'm thinking, or are you just like, shut up, Crash? It's a nomination, and it's awesome.
A little bit of both. I mean, like you said, I think our sport's growing. As you can see, it's getting some mainstream attention, which is awesome. But yeah, we definitely are some of the fittest, I would say, athletes in the world. The amount of training and stuff we put our body through on our dirt bikes, we're max heart rate the whole time we're out there. For the summertime, it's 2 35-minute motos holding a 250-pound 450cc engine in the heat of summer. Your heart rate's pegged, and you're battling every single muscle cramping, hurting, and it's a sufferfest, no doubt. But at the same time, like you said, it is cool to at least be recognized for action sports. And like you said, maybe one day we'll get in there as best male athlete.
Tell me some of the worst things you have suffered through, whether it's an outdoor moto or indoors in Supercross. What is something you've suffered through that was very painful throughout most of a race?
For us, it's the beauty and the beast, but you deal with injuries quite a bit. I've had some pretty big ones that have sidelined me, but the ones where usually, like for myself, you're in a championship kind of hunt, and you might have a shoulder dislocation or a ligament tear. For example, this year I actually sprained my ankle and had to go race the next week. So you're always kind of fighting through nagging injuries, and I think those can sometimes be physically and mentally tough. And like you said, with us racing every single weekend for 17 out of 18 weekends, there's no time to let your body heal. So you're dealing with a lot of injuries. You're dealing with high stress physically, mentally, as far as championship pressure or racing pressure. And but yeah, I think that's why we love it. We always come back for more. It's just that competitiveness in us.
What's your max heart rate? You mentioned that before. I'm sure somebody's measured it. When you peg personally, what's that?
For me, everyone's a little bit different depending on, how they operate. But for me, that's 185. And that's about every race I hit that number, which is for me the top end range. I think the highest I've ever seen it is maybe 189. But yeah, for 35 minutes in motocross, we're there. And then Supercross for 20 minutes, we're there right off the starting gate. Even it's quite funny. You'll see in staging when you're getting ready to go out for your race. And for me, just the nerves and the anticipation, your heart rate's already climbing into the 100s, the 120s, sometimes even into the 140s when you're just sitting there physically not doing anything. So, yeah, like I said, I think the sport tests you not only physically, but that mental battle as well, that anticipation, the bit of fear that is also kind of involved in it. You know that you're at risk every turn and every jump and every obstacle that you're on.
I know there was a guy that raced in the Tour de France named Miguel Indurain many years ago, probably before you were born, but he had a resting pulse of 29.
Wow.
Heart pumped every other second.
For me, the upper 30s. I've been, as low as I think 36 before, but usually between 36 and 40 when I wake up in the morning. So I got a ways to go to catch the cycling world, but I still think that's pretty low.
Somebody needs to come in and nudge you once in a while. If your pulse is getting down that low, don't you dream? Don't you get excited in your dreams?
Always, man. I'm always dreaming. I'm resting well.
But I caught you there. About what do you dream about?
I have some wild dreams.
Come on. You gotta share it with us.
I don't know, man. It could be about falling out of an airplane one day, and then
really
something that kind of happens in the real world the next day. I'm all over the map.
So we need to get your dreams to turn into walking up on stage, accepting an ESPY, going for your speech, and nailing it. How about that?
Absolutely. And that, like you said, that would be a dream come true right there. That's a super big honor. And I'm just, like I said, excited to be in the running for that, not only for myself, but for the sport of Supercross and motocross. And, it was a lot of hard work, and I won my championship, but this is kind of a different award. It's not every day that I'm nominated for something so special. So, yeah, I'm super excited about it. And like you said, I'll dream of that tonight, of holding that award and grasping it.
Now let's go back a little bit on what you said earlier in the interview about you were talking about your elevated heart rate when you are racing, and you've got that element of fear as well that kind of helps to elevate the heart rate, at least at the beginning on the gates. Talk about that, because we talk with some car drivers or maybe some boat racers. They say that you can't think of fear because that might mess you up on the track. Is that just restricted to cars and boats or other forms of motorsports? Do you thrive on fear? Is that one of your keys to success?
Oh, no, you try not to think about it, but I think in the back of all of our minds, there is that little bit, right? Or otherwise you're not going to have any respect for, for me, the dirt bike or a car or a boat when you are driving it. I think, you don't think about what ifs or the injuries or anything like that. But I think that fear is in the back of your mind, where it forces you to focus, putting all your attention to what you're doing, attention to detail, and as well as, sometimes sure there might be risk management, like the old saying goes, risk over reward. Is it maybe worth getting out of your comfort level or bringing in extreme high risk for one better result? A lot of the times it is worth it. The risk is always worth it. But like I said, I think there's a lot of thinking that goes into racing, especially, at the high end level. And when you are in a championship, points are important, but so are race wins. So sometimes there's that risk management there.
How'd you learn how to win a championship? So many times guys just go hard every event. Is that what you do, or do you plan I need points. I can't go as hard this time. I can't challenge for second when third gets me the points.
I would say the preparation is hugely important. And so for me, I always try to, we call it our off season, get in a lot of good training, a lot of laps to where you're feeling really comfortable, to where you know your bike. I think that's the important thing, it's man and motorcycle. That's it. So as comfortable as you can be on your motorcycle goes a long ways. And then I think that brings then the confidence. And as well as to win a championship, you got to be strong, you got to be fast, you got to be fit. But the consistency over, like I keep saying, 17 races is huge. Like you said, you can go out and win the first 5, but if you have a DNF or a crash, and all of a sudden you're out of the points lead. So it's always tough to, every championship's different. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind, and it's understanding how to manage it. But at the end of the day, the consistency and being either first or I'd say on the podium about every weekend is what you kind of need to put yourself in the best situation to be a contender at the end of the year.
Now, I think that action sports is skateboards and rollerblades and that sort of thing. That's a far cry from the brutality of Supercross. Does it matter to you that you get nominated for an ESPY and you have to compete against guys that ride skateboards and in skate parks? And
I grew up kind of doing that stuff, so I have a lot of respect for it. My dad was actually a pro surfer and shaped surfboards even now to this day, so I definitely understand the technicality of it and its own. But definitely a little bit different, right? There are a lot of the nominees that I'm on. One's a surfer and 2 of them are snowboarders, so it's them and their board. To where, it's me and my motorcycle, if you will, and we're not always competing or doing the best trick or the best run. We're more, I guess, racing and motorsports based, as well as physically some of the, like you guys alluded to, the fittest athletes I'd say out there. So, like I said, I think it's hard to say what it really is. Is it action sports? Is it mainstream sports? Is it motorsports? That's what I think makes motorcycle racing and riding motorcycles so unique in general. You can do so many different things. So I'm just excited to be nominated for it. I think it's a super big, honor and an award. So we're going to run with the hills for it.
Hey, Cooper, listen, let's be honest. Cooper Webb, Supercross champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation, up for an ESPY. You've got issues. Tell me, when you drive by a freaking Burger King or you drive by a Dairy Queen, don't you want to drop in there and just go bonkers for a McFlurry, or at McDonald's at a Blizzard and just grab 3,000 or 4,000 calories, bro? You can't be this nice and this honest. You've got to have issues with food and maybe grabbing a hard seltzer every now and then, bud.
Yeah, like you said, we are definitely strict. A lot of sacrifices are made. Especially during the season, your fitness is hugely important. Your food, your nutrition, as much as we travel, staying clean and not getting sick is hugely important, especially this year with all the COVID stuff. If we would have got it, we wouldn't have been allowed to race. So that was something you got to be mindful of. But when I get my month off at the end of the year, I usually indulge in a lot of stuff. Eat whatever, and I'm definitely thirsty, like you said. So it's good, though. But I try to reward myself, within reason. When I do get a result or a championship, I celebrate and enjoy the moment, because it definitely doesn't happen a lot. So I feel like I have a good balance there.
What is your cheat meal? What is like when you do win?
For me, just a Chick-fil-A, the nuggets, fries, everything. I guess just fried food. Growing up in the South, that's what I grew up on. So that's my go-to, and I definitely enjoy that when I can.
Well, what do you mix Red Bull with?
I'm a beer drinker, so we drink Red Bull on the podium. But yeah, for me, just enjoy a few beers every once in a while.
Yes.
Cooper, do you follow other motorsports? Speaking of Red Bull, do you follow Formula One or IndyCar or drag racing, anything of that nature?
Yeah, I enjoy a lot of racing. I think for me, I genuinely watch NASCAR the most out of anything. I think just growing up in North Carolina, that was, such a mega for NASCAR. So I've watched that quite a bit. F1, I've started watching a little bit. I've been able to meet Daniel Ricciardo and become a friend of his, and so I definitely like to watch it. MotoGP, I've been to in Austin, and that's super fun in person to watch. Those guys are hauling butt, and those motorcycles are so fast. So, yeah, I try to watch everything as much as I can. A lot of the times we're same day competing, or on Sundays we're usually traveling back, so it's hard to see them all. But I'd say, yeah, NASCAR is the motorsport that I follow the most.
Now, Daniel Ricciardo, when he wins, likes to drink champagne out of his boot.
Yeah, out of his shoe, man.
Do you do that? Do you pull a little Red Bull in your shoe on the?
Ah, man, I need to come up with something. That's definitely his trademark, and I've seen it done by a lot of Australians. That's their go-to. I've seen Chad Reed do it when he won. I've seen some of the other Australian guys do it. So we'll have to come up with something that I do when I get the win.
Okay, Cooper, can you see what's over my shoulder right here? Can you see? Can you see these? What we call them like the leathers? Can you tell? Can you see the Longhorn?
Yeah, I see the Longhorn.
Do you recognize the Makita who might have been sponsored? Okay, if you look real close, it's Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah. Okay.
He gave me these leathers back after he ran in Texas. They're in Arlington. All right, and I think we asked you this last time you joined us on the Sunday night show. You've got Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, and James Stewart. Take away the champions of all those guys, including the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, and MC. Those three guys, who's the greatest Supercross rider in your mind?
Hold on. Can you add Dungey and Villapoto, please?
No, I want those three.
That's your question, Crash. Let him.
I get it. I get it.
Okay,
Man,
I'll put Villapoto and Dungey in there. Do it, okay? I mean, Dungey, a former KTM teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think for me, they're all unreal. I think McGrath having the most wins speaks for itself. James having probably the most talent and the most talented Supercross rider ever. But I think as far as just for me growing up, Ricky Carmichael was my idol, and just seeing him every year, no matter what, be in the Supercross championship hunt, either winning it or being right there. And if he didn't win it, he usually got hurt is why he didn't. So, and doing it on multiple different motorcycle brands is pretty impressive as well. So I'm going to have to go with your guy, man, Ricky, the GOAT.
Ricky was on our 4th show. We're now 21 years old, the show is, and Ricky was on show number 4 in year number 1. So, yeah, he's kind of got a little piece of our hearts right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, I idolized him, and he was the guy for me growing up. He was always, as a fan of the sport, being a little kid, I got to meet him a few times, and he'd sign my stuff. And, I'm with you right there. He was always super special, and even now, he'll text me every once in a while, and he's up in our booth at Supercross, so I see him about every weekend. And sometimes I gotta kind of pinch myself and know who I'm talking to.
All right, so
that guy that texted me used to sign things for me. That's just wild.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty dang cool.
Paul Cooper Webb. I've got a signed Pele jersey over here.
Oh no!
This is from Ricky Carmichael. I don't have any freaking Cooper Webb gear in here, bro. What's the problem?
I'll get it. I'll get you guys hooked up, man.
Wow.
This is our first show. I think last time we were on the phone, so I didn't get to see it. So I'll have to add to the collection if you'll put it up.
Yep, I'll put it up. And he handed it to me freshly worn. It was, ball sweat, everything in there, bro. He didn't dry it. I mean, it was here. You go, Kenny. Take it.
Wow.
Well, that's how you know it's authentic. It wasn't fake. Yeah.
Wow. Well, listen, man. Cooper, thanks for taking time out, man. Continue to kick some ass. Do what you're doing. You'll get better in the outdoors. It's a long-ass season, man. Thanks for joining us here in the Freak Nation.
Yeah, thank you, guys. And tell everybody to go vote for me on the ESPY Awards on ESPN's website. And wish me luck, and thank you guys for having me.
Awesome.
Boy. All right. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
See ya.